Okay, we're gonna try to get this done under 30 minutes because I need to head out for my next class. Also, if I sound a bit funny, it's because I'm getting over a cold. I feel like I'm so late to doing this video. It's like March 12th right now. This video is gonna go up tomorrow, hopefully. So we're gonna be doing the 25 books I need to read in 2025. So some books I have added on here and like deleted because some of them I've already read if they were on this list. And then it also just took me a while to find 25 books. I don't know how people do monthly TBRs because I struggled so much in just finding like new releases I might want to read and like maybe old books I want to read too. It's gonna be a combination of like new and old. There's a lot of repeat authors on here, and then honestly some of them I'm not even sure I want to read, but I feel like I wanted to read them at the time when I added them on this list. Okay, let's just get started. So the first one we have on here is The Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation by Mo Shang Tongshu. I read Heaven Official's Blessing, I think beginning of last year, and then I finished it in January and I loved it so much. I want to get into more like Dan Mei novels, which are like Chinese BL. It was so good and I want to get into more of Mo Shang Tongshu series. I have like a list of Dan Mei novels afterwards that I want to read. They're not all in this video, but maybe I'll make another video for that. I don't know. Next one we have is also by Mo Shang Tongshu. It's The Scum Villain Self-Saving System. This one I heard is more humorous. It's the most like lighthearted one out of all three of her series, I think, because oh my god, some moments in her series get so devastating. I mean, it's so good, but it's like so heartbreaking at the same time. I'm like debating whether to start Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation or The Scum Villain because I've had one person say The Scum Villain was their favorite, but I heard if I want something similar to Heaven Official's Blessing, I should read The Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation last to like end off with the good series. But I'm just like trying to decide. I want the feeling of Heaven Official's Blessing again, which is why I'm thinking, okay, maybe I should read Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation now and then like save The Scum Villain because there's like no anime adaptation for The Scum Villain. But also at the same time, maybe I should save the one people say is the better one for last sort of thing. I don't know. It's like so hard to decide because both series seem to have like their own charms. I've had a friend told me maybe save the lighthearted one for last because the first two are so devastating. I don't know. When the time comes, I'll let you guys know. Number 3, The Sunshine Court by Nora Sakovic. I still need to read this. It's been like a year since this released or something. And I heard Jean's relationship is like so good and I want to read about him and Jeremy. I heard Jeremy's like the sunshiny type, right? And then Jean is like the tortured one who just came out of like this really terrible situation and he's like scarred and everything. And I want to read about that so badly because it sounds like so different from Andrew and Neil's dynamic, but I'm also so scared because of that because I loved Andrew and Neil so much. I think I'm also just scared for like a new main character other than Neil. I'm so excited for this couple though. Like I haven't spoiled myself on anything, but I heard people love them. I even had someone tell me I might like this couple even more than the first couple. The fourth book we have on this list, The Golden Raven by Nora Sakovic. I kind of love how this author releases the book without telling anyone. Like one day on Amazon, I was just like, oh, okay, let's see if the book is out, and the book is out. The thing is, I'm waiting for the paperback so I can buy it. Like I didn't even know there was a cover reveal until like one day I just looked on Goodreads and I was like, wait, there's a cover for this? I mean, it looks a lot different from the other covers, which I was really surprised about. I also wasn't expecting there to be a 5th book in this series because I thought it was just going to end off with Sunshine Court, but no. So now I'm wondering what this 5th book is about because like in the first Foxhole Court trilogy, I thought the storm was over. You think it's over, right? And you think it's just like characters trying to get over their trauma, which is what the 4th book is about. Jean just getting over his trauma. So now I'm just wondering, does he have even more trauma to unpack in the 5th book? Or maybe this one's a new couple. I don't know. I'm so curious because I have no clue what this 5th book is about at all, which is why I need to read The Sunshine Court. Someone needs to force me to do it, okay? Just someone convince me in the comments, please, if you've read The Sunshine Court. Just like yell at me if you have to. Next book we have on here, The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I have been meaning to get into R.F. Kuang books. Oh my god. Like she seems brilliant. One of the authors out there I admire so much because it's just like everything I hear about her books. She just seems like so smart. And yet people say these books like rip them apart. They like wreck them, which I think is why I'm so scared. Like this book is so intimidating. I might make a video on like reading books I'm intimidated by, and this is definitely one of them. I think this is like historical fiction mixed with fantasy. I want to get into this series so badly because I've heard such amazing things. Also, I had another booktuber named Mimi tell me that there was a good subplot romance in here, which I know is not the main focus of the series whatsoever, but it might be another reason that convinces me to read the book because I'm always the biggest fan of subplot romances and fantasy books. Next book we have Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger, Unraveled, which is book 9.5. Again, another book that's been released for a while and yet I need to force myself to read it. I've been reading this series since grade 7, so it's been, oh my god, has it been 8 years? That's crazy. And the series still isn't finished, which I find even crazier. I feel bad for the people who started this when like the first book came out because how long long have they been waiting? I would say this is the series that really got me into reading, and also got me into reading like really long fantasy series. Also, book 9.5 is in Keith's perspective, and he's one of my favorite characters in the series, which is another reason for me to read it. So I don't know why I haven't read it yet. I think it's Keith's time in like the human world, because there's like two worlds in this book, like the elf world and the human world. Next book, Keeper of the Lost Cities, book 10. It's supposed to come out this year. I think she's pushed back this book for so long that we don't even know when it's coming out anymore. Praying it's the last book. The way book 9 ended, it's promising. I feel the ending coming, but we don't know if there's going to be like a book 11, because I think she said at one point that book 9 was going to be it, like it was going to be finished, and then I finished book 9 and it didn't finish. You have no idea how mad I was though. I was just like, wait, that's it? I need to wait for the next book? I didn't even know there was going to be a book 10. I'm like so curious how it's going to end though. Like it's such a long series with like the novellas and everything. I think there's like 10 books in the series right now, 11 books maybe, so like this is going to be book 12 or something technically. Next one we have Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I think this is coming out in April. Oh, also sorry for not telling you guys what any of these books are about, but even I have no clue what these books are about. Abby Jimenez romance books though are always so good. She's one of my insta-buy like romance authors, and she's one of my favorite romance authors of all time. She's one of the best things that happened to me in 2024, because I started reading all of her books in 2024 and I finished the Part of Your World series. I think this book might be in the same world, because there was a girl in Just for the Summer who had a grandmother, I think it might be dementia. I could be wrong about that, but I think the main girl character in this book, her grandmother has like some sort of health issue, so I think it's the same girl as in Just for the Summer. Next book, The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I've been putting this off for so long. It's such a long series and it's such a long book. It's very intimidating. I just want to get into this world though and know what it's like to be obsessed with it, because I haven't heard one bad thing about the series. Also, I didn't know it was still ongoing until the 4th book or 5th book or something came out this year. How long is it going to keep going? I'm just hoping there's like a really good subplot romance in here that I'll become invested in, that'll just keep me going, you know? Because I did read Mistborn, like the first book, and then I tried reading the second book. The thing is, the couple in the first book got together in the first book, so I'm hoping if there's a subplot romance in this series that it'll just go on for like, you know, the length of the series. Next one, Somewhere Beyond Sea by TJ Klune. I don't know if you can see the book, it's up there, but this I believe is in Arthur's perspective, and I've been waiting for this book ever since I heard it was going to be released, and then I just never ended up reading it. I've had that book on my shelf for I don't know how long now. The thing is, again, I have no clue what any of these books are about, so I don't know if this book is in the timeline of the first book or if it's a different like storyline. I just love Arthur so much. He was my favorite character in the first book. Like he was so sweet. I'm kind of hoping it's in the same timeline as the first book, because I just want to see Arthur and Linus falling in love again. I also kind of want to see like before Linus showed up, like how Arthur took care of the children by himself and everything, and like what life was like before Linus showed up, and then I want Linus to show up, and then I want their love story to start. That's how I want it to go, which I think is why I haven't started it yet, because I have this certain like way I want it to go, but if it doesn't go that way, I'm like afraid of what I'm gonna think. Next book, The Zodiac Academy by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valentine. This series has been everywhere, and I also see this series like wrecking people. It's so long too, and the books are like so thick. I have the first book, and there was like a time where I got like this urge to read it. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go searching for the first book and I'm gonna read it, and then I just never ended up reading it like most of the books on this list. I think I'm scared to read the first book because I heard it's not the best, but then it gets better, and I love long series too, long fantasy series specifically, so I think that's why I've been putting it off, because I know I'm gonna start liking it eventually when I get into the later books. Okay, I'm kind of confused about like the main character in this book though. Is it like the perspective of both the twins, or we get the perspective of one of the twins? Because I heard there's like a bully romance in here, and then there's like long lost princesses who are twins and then have to take over a kingdom, and then people start bullying them because of that reason. Oh, also I heard the main character in this book, or one of the main characters, is named Tori Vega. Very Victorious coded, but yeah, I don't know what to think of like the romance in this book, because I've never read a bully romance before. Next book, Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I need to get back into V.E. Schwab books, because there was a time where I read like 6 of their books in a row, and then I just stopped, because I'm just like, okay, I need to save these books, I need to slow myself down, and then I just completely stopped. I'm just hoping it's not sad. I haven't read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue yet, and I heard that one's kind of sad, so I hope this one's not sad, because I heard this one's a standalone too. I've only read one of V.E. Schwab's standalones, and I think that was Gallant. Also, I've heard no one talk about this yet, so like someone tell me if they've read it. Next book, Manacled by Senlin Yu. I need to read Harry Potter first, and then I need to read this, but the main one I want to read is Manacled, because I've heard so many things and I've been recommended it so many times. This is Hermione fanfiction, right? I've never gotten into the Hermione fanfiction. Like I've read fanfiction before, but not Hermione, because obviously I've never read Harry Potter before. I've only watched the movies. This is like 900 pages though, right? I have it on my Kindle. I downloaded like the file. I just want to binge Harry Potter so badly just so I can get to Manacled, because I heard the romance in here was so good. And I also just heard there are like so many twists and turns, and that is written so well. Also, people who get into this book seem obsessed, and I want to be obsessed. I want to know that feeling so badly. I know I'm gonna like it. I just really need to push through Harry Potter. Someone also convinced me to read Harry Potter. Next one, Alchemized by Senlin Yu. I heard this this is the official published version of Manacled, so like there's gonna be some changes here and there, obviously, like the names. It's not gonna be Germani fan fiction anymore. It's gonna be an officially published book, which is why I want to read Manacled before this comes out, which I think this is coming out this September. I also heard this one's gonna be a really big book. It looks so cool though. I love the cover. Is it a standalone? Next one, I Am Not Jessica Chen by Anne Liang. I'm actually reading this right now. I'm like 60 pages in for another video. The only thing I'm aware about so far is that the main character switches like her soul to her cousin's body or something. When I heard the romance for this one though, like the boy recognizing her even if she's in another body, like just recognizing her soul, I'm just like, oh my god, yes. And also the main character is an artist. Like I was so excited to read about it when I heard about that. I also just love Anne Liang's contemporary romance books. I feel like they're always so good. I always enjoy them at some point. Next one, also by Anne Liang. Never thought I'd end up here. From what the cover looks like, it kind of looks like this romance will be on a train or maybe like traveling sort of romance. I don't know. I'm like kind of curious if it is going to be on a train. I'm kind of hoping it is, not gonna lie. I feel like that'd be so different from what I normally read. Oh my god, imagine it's like a 15-hour train ride and the romance just happens on the train. I don't know why I'm getting myself so excited over that idea because I don't even know what this book is about. Next one, The Floating World by Axio. I just like the title of this book. I think it sounds so interesting. Also, I did read the synopsis at one point. The thing is, I completely forget what it's about, but I know I was interested at the time because I added it on this list, obviously. The cover gave off like Avatar The Last Airbender sort of vibes. I don't know why. Also, just thinking about a fantasy book with like floating islands, I feel like that sounds so cool. Again, I have no clue if I'm right about that though. I've never read an Axio fantasy book though, but I heard her fantasy books are really, really good. I know she wrote this other one called The Girl Beneath the Sea or something like that, and I think that cover looks so pretty, and this cover also looks really cool, which is the main reason why I want to read it. I think this book is gonna be YA. I heard Axio mainly writes YA romances now. Next book, Make My Wish Come True by Rachel Lippincott and Alison Derrick. I'm so excited for this book, and you have no clue because She Gets the Girl, which they wrote together, is one of my favorite romances of all time. This one came out last year and I meant to read it, but I think at some point I just felt like it was too late to start reading Christmas books, so I decided to wait for this year to read it. The only thing I've heard about this one is that it's fake dating, and fake dating isn't my favorite, as you guys know. But if it's Rachel Lippincott and Alison Derrick writing a book together, I will make an exception. I hope it's dual POV again because She Gets the Girl was dual POV. Next book is also another Christmas book. This next one is called Joy to the Girls by Rachel Lippincott and Alison Derrick. This one is coming out this year, I think, and it's a Christmas novella to She Gets the Girl. So excited. You have no clue how excited I am to like return to the She Gets the Girl world because I love that couple in that book so much. Like it was the one book that made me feel like, oh my god, I want to read other romance books like this because I wasn't the biggest fan of romance books before until I read She Gets the Girl and I became obsessed. Also, I feel like just Rachel Lippincott and Alison Derrick sapphic romance books written together, so good. It gets me so excited every single time they like announce a new book together. Next book, Cold Wire by Chloe Gong. I read a Chloe Gong book last year and I loved it. It was so good. Like the plot twist. I think Cold Wire is like dystopian sci-fi. I heard. Is this YA? I think it's YA. I think I heard that somewhere. I think this is her new series because I think all of her previous YA books have been in like the same world, and so I think this is the first YA book she's written that's not gonna be in the Violent Delights world. Okay, next book, Vilest Things by Chloe Gong. This is the second book in the Immortal Longing series. Oh my god, the way the first book ended though. Also, there was a side couple I was so obsessed with. It was like between a prince and his bodyguard. I need to read the second book so badly. I also just want to read about the side couple. Like the side couple got me so excited. At least I think there was a romance between them. There was a vibe between them, you know? There has to be. Like there was so much tension between them. Okay, next book is First Time Caller by BK Borison. I bought this the other day along with I'm Not Jessica Chen by Anne Liang. This is also going to be in the video I'm currently filming, but I haven't started reading it yet. All I know is that it's about a radio host talk show thing. And also this book's been everywhere. I've seen it everywhere. Everyone's read this. Also the cover just looks so cute. I love the pink cover. I'm just curious on like what type of romance this is going to be because it's through like a radio host thing. So I'm like just curious on how that's going to start. This is also going to be my first time reading a BK Borison book. I have Love Light Farms. The thing is, again, I'm waiting to read it this year because I've never read a Christmas book before in my life. I guess I'm just saving all the Christmas books for this year. The next one is Goodbye My Princess by Bae Wo Si-sun. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that name. Apparently, if you liked Captive Prince and The Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, you'll like this book because it's like a combination of those books. And when I heard that, I was like, oh my god, obviously going on my TBR. I think this book was an inspiration for a Chinese drama too. I don't know which Chinese drama because I don't watch too many dramas. Anyways, I'm hoping to read Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation before I read this one, obviously. Okay, second to last book, Ready or Not by Cara Baystone. I know she released a new book this year. It's like the one with the Ferris wheel, like the really bright orange cover. That one also looks really good. I want to read that one too. But this one mainly, I heard the relationship is like, I know the guy is really sunshiny, which is why I wanted to read this one. I haven't read like too many pregnancy tropes, I guess, which I kind of want to try it out. I don't know, I've been wanting to try like different tropes lately, and this one seemed like a good one to start out with the pregnancy trope. Also, I'm like really confused on which genre this is because I see it sometimes in like the general fiction section and then I see it sometimes in like the romance section. So like which one is it exactly? Okay, last book we have on the list and then I gotta go. The House Sapphire by Marissa Meyer. I used to be the biggest Marissa Meyer fan. Oh my god, it's like if I had a villain origin story in books, it would be Marissa Meyer. I love the Lunar Chronicles and Renegade so much. The thing is, the newer Marissa Meyer books, I feel like haven't been the biggest hit. I tried reading Gilded. I think I got like 50 pages in. I'm gonna try again eventually. It's just I want to give another one of Marissa Meyer's retellings a try because I heard this one's a retelling of, I think it's called Bluebeard. I'm not too familiar with that one, but this one's like a girl gets hired to like exterminate a ghost from this mansion or something, and then there's like a really handsome stranger obviously that she meets. I think it's like a fantasy slightly mixed with a mystery. I could be wrong about that. Again, don't trust what I say about any of these books, but yeah, that's it. Oh my god, I gotta get going. Those are the 25 books I want to read in 2025. Hopefully I can do it. I think I can manage to read 25 books. I don't know if I can manage to finish the 25 books on this list, if you know what I mean, but I will do my best. So if you've read any of these books, leave down in the comments to try to convince me to read these books if you like them. If you didn't like the books, don't say anything to me, okay? It might just stop me from reading them. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I gotta go. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.